It's pretty impressive, to be honest, all things considered. All right. Now we can get into the fucking boys.
All right, I gotta get up.
Los Angeles Lakers, Los Angeles Tweakers losing to the Denver Nuggets. Like we always do. You know, this podcast is a Lakers-centric podcast, so we about to get into it. I'm not even going to start because I got a lot to say, and I don't want to interrupt nobody. So
should I go?
I have nothing to say.
You can go, Hassan.
You can go, Hassan, if you got a lot to say.
I mean, I told you they'd lose in 5, and Anthony Davis, he played like perfect basketball this season. Shout out to AD, played all the games and performed in the playoffs, and no one had anything bad to say about him. Except getting worked by the best player in the NBA.
At least there's no more AD slander. Somebody can lay my head on.
But, yeah, I think Denver is just a better team. Jamal Murray is a playoff riser. He showed you guys again why. I told you D-Lo would be bad. So I'm just glazing myself and saying I'm Messiah, and I told you guys what would happen.
Yeah.
In terms of that. But you want to talk about coach or just analysis of this first?
No, let's talk about the series, and then we can talk about the future.
Okay,
I want
that's all I have to say about the series.
I also want to talk shit about us, too.
All right,
go ahead.
Go.
No, let Isaac. Yeah, let Isaac cook.
I'm done speaking.
Okay. We played terrible, guys, okay? I know you guys have seen the same stat that everybody in the fucking world has seen. We controlled the game for God knows how many fucking minutes. They had only how much of control time with the lead, bro. And we got shitted on every motherfucking game, brother. We might as well have got swept.
Yeah.
Darvin
it was the same last year, too, man.
No, I ain't saying might as well, because getting that one game is important.
Ham is the
That
worst.
should mean something to me.
We haven't beat them in 2 years.
Ham
It
is
took us
the
2 years to
worst
beat
Ended that streak. We don't gotta hear it no more.
Dog, you know how many days it was since we had beat them? It was like 300 or 400 days.
Yeah, it was bad, bro.
That's
Over
fucking
2 years.
insane.
That was 2 years. It was more than that.
World,
It's
dog.
like fucking Frank Ocean dropping music, dude.
How many times?
Kendrick dropped that.
How
I
many
can't
times?
say that no more.
Not today.
How many times did you see Rui miss a layup?
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
How many times did you see Rui hit anything?
How many?
Never.
How much did he get paid?
No, he not. He on a
Like
fine
12 or
15.
15.
15.
mil.
No, that was like
The
17
total
or
50
something.
mil, right?
12 to 15.
Yeah, 12 to
What about
15.
Austin Reeves? Not showing up one game, showing up this game.
And Darvin
No, I'm not blaming Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is the last player that deserved blame.
He needs tape.
One person.
Reeves needed to shoot more, brother. Okay. He needed to shoot.
I
There was games
disagree.
where he was like super content with like by not shooting.
He did have a lot of games in the
flow,
beginning. His first few games were like he was just non-aggressive.
Do more, bro.
I'm not blaming Reeves, bro.
No, it's
I'm
not his
blaming
more,
fault. But I'm
dog.
saying
He had a
was
bad
non-aggressive
series,
at
but I'm
first.
not blaming
That's
him.
I'm not
No,
blaming
no,
him.
no,
I'm
no,
not. No, he's the least of it. But I'm
mean, at
saying
the end of the
Rui's
day,
the
it's
top.
everybody.
Darvinham's the top. Why would you not play more players? Why are we playing Dinwiddie?
No.
Why the fuck are we playing? Did you not see the other stat?
What do you mean more
Hold on.
players?
There was
Like
another
Max.
stat that said
Nah, don't play
Dinwiddie-
Max, just don't play Dinwiddie.
Hayes,
yeah.
and fucking what's his name that we got from Miami?
Gabe.
And Gabe, bro.
Why is he not playing?
Oh, they had like
He was.
60 minutes or like
yeah.
like a fuckload of minutes for 0 points.
Dinwiddie had like 2 points all season.
You don't see a fucking problem with
Yeah,
that?
like, that's
I'm
insane.
just gonna
Like, at least
keep
it's somebody
playing
else
ass
to do
No,
it.
niggas.
firing, he needed to get fired.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep playing ass options.
At
Are
least
you
try
fucking
something,
kidding
yeah.
me?
Like,
Nah, you're right.
Bro, it's not
I
Gabe's
give
fault. He
Max 2
regressed
minutes.
like
It's not
to a
motherfucking
shell, bro.
rocket
It's not true. We
science,
never had
baby.
opportunity.
You get a coach
facts.
from high school. You get a coach from middle school. They'll fucking put in somebody different. Why? Because these fuckers aren't doing
He
it.
never took blame either. That's the thing I hate about most. The head
Fuck.
coach not taking
Motivational
blame.
speech.
yeah.
Blaming his
LeBron and
players,
AD
too.
can't fucking do it by themselves.
say that we don't
Yeah,
know
they
what they're
showed
doing
up.
out there, and then he's like, I think he's just that's his emotions. Like, what the fuck, like,
Bro,
That was
Talking
bad.
in quotes.
That's insane. Like,
come
how
on,
Prince
bro,
gonna
we're
be
human
how
beings,
Prince gonna be
not
the
quotes.
third or fourth best player on the fucking team?
Bro's on IG, bro's
Yeah.
on.
How he gonna take the last game winner shot of the season? How? How the
He
how the
got
fuck
fouled,
that?
by the way, there, too.
Brother,
He did, but-
we had
No, I'm gonna
Can't call
dissect Darvin Ham when we come down to it, but
But
for it.
For when it
He's
comes to the rest
right
of
with
the
the
team,
rotations.
yeah.
But when it comes to the rest of the team too, like they just at the end of the day they just let Bron and AD down. At the end, like that's the bottom line. It's like we seen the stats, like we seen that at least in offensive output, Bron and AD matched Jokic and Murray. You know what I mean? When it comes to at least just production. So it's just like we're losing because MPJ had an insane series. Fucking Aaron Gordon had like a 30-point game.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like
It's going to
their role
happen
players-
every time, though. Like, it's
their
not-
role players just continued to like step up when they needed them. Like Reggie was hitting threes, fucking KCP was hitting threes before he got hurt. Like it's like their role players just consistently stepped up. And although like Bron and AD couldn't have really they could have played better, obviously. Like anyone can get better, but they played a grade games. You know what I mean? Like grade A games. Like they weren't playing bad at all in the series.
It was just moments that they could have been better.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
there's
even
moments,
say
that
and there's
games.
spot moments. Yeah, there's spot moments where like, okay,
Yeah.
like you should have maybe done something
Yeah.
else. But it's like you're in these positions like so
Because of
often, and it's like I know you're gonna get into coaching later, but we seen so many blown lead. Like in the first game, I think he called a timeout to stop a run, and we thought like he had actually learned something. And then for the rest of the series,
Never
like
called the timeout.
just fucking getting leads blown,
Let me ask you this then.
leads
Our
blown.
assholes
And it's like,
blown the
how are you
fuck
gonna keep,
out.
like,
No,
So
what
then-
is
so
it?
you
Game
think-
game two, where you had 2 timeouts in the
Yeah.
pocket and you didn't use
You
any
didn't
of
use
them.
them.
You didn't use
Like-
it on a challenge. You didn't use it on a
Nothing.
timeout to get out of
Nothing.
bounds play.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So do you think
You can't
like?
take those home with
Oh
you.
my
Like,
to advance the
God.
ball, nothing. Like
So do you think?
You trying to save him?
You think a different coach helps you win this series, or is it the same
at
outcome?
least-
No,
at
I don't
least-
think so.
Yeah, so,
seriously,
like, what do you
because
change?
Rotation, brother.
Trade?
Fuck.
We definitely need.
You gotta, if you want any value, you need
just
your
need
deal
more
on
effective-
I
AR.
already got a
players.
plan for us. I'm gonna lay it
Alright,
out.
we
go
need
ahead.
more.
But
We
I'm gonna
need more
let them
effective
give their
players.
thoughts too.
Yeah, we need more effective players, and we need a better coach. Like, if people aren't gonna step up, in the same with Kawhi. If like it's not stepping up, but it's like if you're not gonna be there for the playoffs, pretty much.
What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Like D'Lo tricked everybody. Like with his trade talk, D'Lo.
I'm telling you, man. I told you.
His job was on the line. It's like a fucking NFL contract year. Like
Yeah, nah.
it's like job is on the line. You go crazy, and then fucking you get to the you get to the playoffs and you just flame out. You have one good game. You know what I mean? Like
That's him.
if he has 3 good games,
You know what?
At least it's a
No.
close series.
The worst part about it, it's not even that. Okay, you had a bad game, good game. It's like, can you not have a decent game? Like,
Yeah,
you got
regular.
0 points,
I
bro.
know.
Yeah,
0.
like how? Like how? do
Like
you
at
even
least
do
score
that?
10.
either
I'm not
super
even
good or
asking
super
for
bad.
you to
Yeah,
score
that's who he
20
is.
every
That's who he
game.
is.
It's just sad.
30
like,
every game.
Yeah.
It's sad seeing like Bron and AD out there just fucking dying. You know what I mean?
Dying.
And it's just like
Then you got D'Lo in Discord calls or Discord
bro,
talking about
like,
I'm throwing up.
yeah,
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, it's, yeah,
His
Keep
own
believing
court.
in me.
Yeah.
Keep believing in me.
yeah.
Like,
and
man.
I'm like, dude, like we should have just traded D'Lo when we could have. You know what I mean?
I wanted
get another
DeJounte,
chance.
Man. I wanted DeJounte. Now he's more
We won't get a
expensive.
chance.
Yeah.
You'll get
Now
a
they're not
chance.
gonna give him
No,
to
because
us.
D'Lo is on a. Is he a free agent?
He opted out.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Oh.
Yeah, he can move.
That's what I'm saying. He
if
can just leave. That's why I'm like, we should have just traded him earlier when we could have. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now we get nothing for him. Which
if
is
we
like, at
do
least
trade
the
him, it's gonna
space-
be a sign and trade.
Yeah.
Which is, they're not gonna get the same value for that.
Yeah, and it's like at least we get the fucking cap space gone, but it's like
Ah.
we still need a player. You know?
And then you got LeBron with his annual. Am I going to retire?
Nah, bro. Obviously, he's
Every
gonna
year,
retire.
man.
He's
after he
obviously getting
loses.
he's gonna get a contract.
Honestly though, this year I don't blame him because they might have broken, bro. I can't even.
Yeah.
Like in the
He's tired.
past,
He
it was some
played
bullshit,
amazing.
but-
You guys
Like,
see that
the nigga-
meme of
it wasn't toxic.
Jokic is like him, LeBron, and his like crypto, the bed thing with him saying with
Oh yeah, it's
himself.
like find a guy named Jokic, make sure he gets into horse racing and never plays basketball.
It's like, Jokic is his kryptonite.
Yeah, that shit is
It's not
funny.
even. It's not him. It's his team. Like
Yeah,
that's why it's so
Dude,
annoying.
you see what he averaged in that
'Cause I
series?
believe
He averaged almost a 30
We
point
would've
triple double.
won.
Not Jokic. Okay,
Jokic
but it's
is
not
doing
Jokic.
something.
MPJ did very
He is
good.
doing something, but
Let's
at the
not-
end, like the
anybody.
let's
in
talk
front
about
of
We've
that.
seen LeBron beat Jokic before. It's
Yeah,
not
like-
him.
It's also like
In a bubble.
Don't let
When we had a competent team
Yeah.
to guard him.
Their team they didn't have MPJ as good as he is now, and they didn't have Aaron Gordon.
But we had a competent
We had better
defensive team to
defenders.
defend him.
Yeah.
We had a
better,
big,
bro.
Different. NBA is
Vanderbilt didn't even
different
play.
now than it was in the bubble.
but I'm
100%.
saying,
still have better.
You got
our-
Dwight Howard. Oh, sign me, Genie Bus. Sign me.
relax,
Sign
bro.
me.
I would rather have. I would rather have.
I'm not saying Dwight, but we have no bigs outside
just
of
saying,
AD.
like-
We don't.
That's like
I
a
know.
complete
And then
180
that's the
from
next
what
thing.
he's
Why
one
the fuck
of
can't
Our
play a
guards play
small-ass lineup?
defense.
We got
But it
fucking
won't work
Jackson
now.
and
I
Hayes.
guarantee it won't work now.
We're the
Kuzma,
polar
yeah.
opposite.
Kuzma
We're the
Kuzma was
polar
really
opposite
good.
of that team. That team that year, our identity was defensive, and we had a big team that could play we could like play up to our.
Kuzma's
opponents.
a
This
huge
year-
upgrade of what you guys had.
No, it's
when
not.
he
Yeah,
did.
it is. I would much rather. Kuzma
no,
is just
Kuzma
better.
He wasn't Kuzma
better
today.
rules.
It's not even
Like,
Kuzma.
what he
It's
did-
Caruso.
what he did was
Shots.
good.
Dude,
He was a
Caruso
player.
shits on D'Lo.
Yeah, Caruso too.
Yeah.
He would have fucking put the clamps
Yeah.
on Murray. None of that shit in the final possession would have happened,
Caruso
bro.
plays well too. You guys
Literally,
fumbled on some
dude.
guys, but it is what it
Fucking,
is.
I want him
think
back, bro.
Ruiz is too inexperienced.
I want
Like,
him and AR on the
Rui's
same team.
super.
That the inexperience showed in this series for Rory. Like,
Bad.
He's horrible.
Bad.
Like, not horrible, but like
He's
bad.
he was
awful.
very
He's not bad.
like he
He's
just
not
didn't
bad.
look like he didn't know what he was doing
Okay,
out there.
playoff Rui is fucking
no, no,
So
no.
many,
Last
so many
year
missed
was good, bro.
rotations.
Don't-
Exactly.
So many missed
don't-
rotations. So many missed bunnies.
God,
Like
Thank God he already knows
No-
Japanese,
no
because motherfucker gonna have to
set
learn it
of
soon.
Rui.
yeah.
Oh, Zhangji. Oh, Shoni, Shishan.
Get rid of him.
LeBron should actually learn Japanese, because I swear he don't understand what he be telling him.
Ni hao.
Dog.
He like, oh you mean Swish? Oh fuck, I leave open.
Swish. That's so racist. Crazy.
I'm sorry. No
That's
disrespect.
crazy.
Fucking, somebody really should have told him in his fucking natural language.
Bro, but it's
or
like,
something.
dude, Torian Prince will tell him what to do the play before on Jamal Murray, and he act like he don't hear what he said,
Yeah, like
or he
Jamal-
doesn't process it. I swear to God.
On that final shot in Game 5,
yeah.
like
Yep.
Rui should have been
Yep.
stepping up for
Yep.
that. Like it's literally the last
Yep.
shot, and he's gonna watch
And
like
he literally watched the pass
double
go over
team-
his fucking head
like
a rainbow.
double team that fucking fadeaway. You know what
Bro,
I mean? Like,
oh,
at
hold
least
on,
like
hold
a
on, hold
hard-
on.
He just watched.
Team's not built like to win.
Let me cook
It's just-
real quick. Let me cook about Darvin Ham. How did you not send one double team at Jamal Murray all series? This guy, we know what's going to happen in the fourth quarter. He's going to get the ball. Him and Jokic are going to do the dribble handoff pick and roll, and he's going to fucking one-on-one shit on us. Yeah, you don't send one blitz at him, not one double team. Knowing we have some of the worst defenders on the court with AR and D'Lo. I don't care if Aaron Gordon has 30 every single game. I'd rather lose like that than Jamal Murray, the inevitable game
fucking
winners.
game us, like,
Come on, bro. I'd rather lose a different way and say, you know what, they're all around just better than us than the same fucking story every time. That's the thing I'm most pissed about.
His
Like,
percentages were bad too, like until the fourth.
that's why
They're
that
letting
game
him warm up. Like,
That's why
yeah,
that game
literally,
2 is
like-
so heartbreaking for many reasons. We blow the 20-point lead,
Literally.
and the way in which we lose, it's like it's just a replay from the years past. It's like the coach hasn't learned a fucking single thing.
His press conference was even worse after. Darvin Ham.
What was that one? He's had so many bad ones. I can't remember.
You know
what
what
he
I
said.
didn't like they were doing? I don't know if it was a coaching thing or a player's choice thing. The pick and roll kept coming. AD was doing drop, and they were just letting like
That too, the drop coverage. What the fuck are you doing?
It didn't even no hedging or nothing. He was like, hey, I was getting pissed because like AD would drop right for the watch
like,
for the roll,
bang.
and then Jamal comes off the screen.
Yeah.
All right, let me just do whatever I want.
Bow.
No hedge, no, and then
Floater, pull up,
or
anything.
they're playing like Gabe, please go over the screen and come in front of him, please. Darvin, please. Like I don't know who. Like oh my god, my brain.
He helped Jokic up, bro.
And I don't want to say, because because the other side of the coin is AD does hedge, he doesn't recover. Jokic rolls, Aaron Gordon, and then it helps coming, and then Aaron Gordon has a free lob. I get that,
Yes,
but dog,
every
I'd
time,
rather
every time, bro.
which I get. But dog, when we're just leaving Jamal Murray cook for like that off the first pick and roll, can we do something else? Can we try a double?
I'd rather Aaron Gordon score
one.
That's why we need Dwight.
Back and forth.
Not to
I know
be
you know-
dirty.
We let him
You
do
know
it
why.
until he starts feeling himself.
Not to be dirty. Not to be
I
dirty.
know you
but
guys
we-
noticed, and I'm like, bro, I'm getting pissed off watching this game, bro.
You
I'm at
need-
the bar, and I'm about to like yell loud. I'm about to yell like
That's why 80 should be a 4, and you need a 5 with him.
Yes.
That's
You
your
need
good.
somebody to
That's
make
gonna be your
Murray
best
No,
chance
here's
defensively.
what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Two things gotta happen. Either AD gotta learn to shoot the 3 ball better, or
Oh my
2,
God.
you gotta put a 5 with him that
Both.
can shoot.
Remember when he used to
Oh,
have
can
a
shoot?
3
Well,
ball?
both.
Yeah.
Just-
Both
yeah,
would be
yeah,
ideal,
like-
but obviously that's like ideal scenario.
Yeah,
Even
like-
though I don't think it's an offensive thing, it's a defensive thing. So the 3 doesn't matter as much. But I feel like getting a center is going to help you guys. I heard Jonas was a
And you know,
target.
it's funny
for you guys.
enough. I didn't bring this up. We're talking about the Heat, but they also talk about maybe having Bam slide. Udonis Haslam actually said this today that he wants Bam to slide to the 4 because as good as Bam is, he's a bit undersized. At
He's
center.
6'9",
He's like a
right?
6.
Yeah.
He's like 6'9".
6'9" center.
It's good to just
So-
play him in spots of 5, like depending on the matchup,
Yeah.
or
Small-
like
small-
I feel
5,
like
10 minutes.
the
Yeah,
league
yeah,
is just
small
getting
lineup.
bigger, and we see with the Timberwolves' success with the 2 big lineup now. I feel like we were going away from that when the Rockets were doing a little small ball thing, but I think we're coming back to like bigger players because they're getting more skill,
actually having a center and a power forward that are
Yeah,
like
yeah.
both huge.
and
Like,
they could
protect
do
the
more
rim.
now. I think that's why it's
To
changing.
protect the rim too.
So
So what do they do now?
okay, so let's talk about the coaching first. I think we can get into the roster in a sec, but I want to address the coaching because I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think we can agree that was the biggest reason the whole season was so bad.
Yes.
Darvin Ham, the craziest quote he had in all this press run was when he was talking about, I can't believe he said this about the players, but he said the beginning of the season when they were talking about benching D'Lo and AR, he said, when they're shit in the bed 10 games in a row, what do you want me to do?
Oh,
And
did
it's
he
like-
say that recently?
Yeah, he said that
Yeah.
just recently about
Yeah.
when we got eliminated. But it's like, bro, as a coach, you got to empower your players. You can't just be benching people just because they're playing poorly. Like,
Yeah,
like the you lose the locker room that way. And I saw a report that said they were confused about that because, like you said, you were saying this on a podcast the whole time.
Yeah.
That lineup is what got us to the Western Conference
Yeah.
Finals. And so when he started switching that and putting Cam Reddish and shit in, the locker room was like, "What are you doing?"
The
bro?
issue is he did like first game of the season. That's what you should be out there with. Like, why would you have anything different?
Exactly.
He was
You know what I
saying
mean?
like, if these guys aren't playing well, I gotta like change the lineup up or something like that.
But then
So-
he refused to like
But it's like the
to put that lineup in. Like, he just refused to.
No,
Yeah.
the problem is what I read is from what I read, the locker room feels away because they know this is a successful lineup. They themselves, like LeBron knows how good AR is. Like, benching him is crazy to him because he knows how well he plays off of him. For the sake of Cam Reddish, let's be real. Come on, bro. That's ridiculous.
But
it's like that looks bogus as fuck.
Like, that's crazy. Yeah, he didn't prove he proved zero to get that starting job.
Exactly.
Like
he's on a minimum contract.
Yeah, like if he was cooking, like if he was coming off the bench just cooking, like okay, give him a chance.
Sure.
Like he just Austin Reeves what he did last
year. Yeah, but
you just paid him too.
Like why is he starting the season? Like starting? Like why?
And it wasn't even
nigga was not even a rotational player on any on the worst team.
Though. Cam Reddish.
He was on the fucking Blazers and they stunk.
What do you see in Cam Reddish that we don't?
Yeah, like I was a Reddish believer because I thought
bro he wasted Max Christie's development all season.
I was a Reddish. He was starting for like 50 games though.
Yeah.
For what? Okay,
he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Start. He was good off the bench. He was better off the bench too.
That's a little more acceptable. A little bit.
Yeah, because at least,
you stick with the lineup that got you there.
Yeah, at least Taurean Prince, like he was bad starting. He got moved to the bench and started playing better. Yes. So that's like, that's excusable because it is what it is. But just to like not have that lineup for like 50 games, it's just like 50. That's like over half the season, and then you all of a sudden you're fucking like 20-10 or something over your last 30 after you start like that lineup.
Yeah, and
you're not even fighting for that dumbass playing spot. You know what I mean? Like
besides the lineup changes and all that, we just can agree that Darvin Ham's not the X and O's coaches
at all, dude. So many clips.
The only reason we brought him in the first place was to handle the player situation to make Russ, LeBron, and AD work, right? And it's like, okay, he did a good job, but it's like once that was done, we need a real coach who knows how to draw plays, who knows situation and timeouts, who knows how to use challenges appropriately and things like that. And so like once all that stuff, now let's talk about that.
JJ Redick.
Let's talk about the next coach. I actually think JJ Redick wouldn't be a bad idea. Now I got qualms. I don't know because see the thing is there's no coach out there that's like an obvious. Ty Lue would be?
No, I think Mike Budenholzer would be the best.
I disagree. I don't think so.
I think he knows everything from a basketball perspective to get you to the playoffs. He's like an exceptional regular season coach. And then you let LeBron and AD. You let LeBron and AD do what they need to do to get.
I'm not worried about LeBron and AD. Let me tell you what I think. The Lakers need to prepare for life without LeBron, and to do that, we need to empower a coach that can help us for years to come, like Spoelstra. And I think this is why I think JJ Redick hiring would be a good idea. Now he doesn't have any head coaching experience or anything like that, so that's gonna hurt. But I want us to hire a coach that we're going to have for an actual long-term period and not just fire after a year or two like we've been doing in the past. I think we need to find a coach that's going to, I'm going to build for the future. I'm going to establish a culture here. And like, instead of LeBron's running the shit and we're going to revolve around LeBron, we're going to revolve around me, kind of like Miami Eric Spoelstra. I think that's what they should pursue because LeBron is getting on a tail end and we got to start finding the next star. I think going into the offseason, we got to start doing this. And so I think we need a coach that can command respect and knows the X's and O's. And I think, JJ Redick, he's going to have bumps and bruises and he might not be ready now. But I think if you're willing to go through the learning curves with him and the bumps and bruises, he'll pan out to be that coach because number one, he has the respect of the players, and number two, from what I've seen at least, he knows the X's and O's. So I'm okay with the rough stretch that he has during the beginning of the season because I think even next year, Mike Budenholzer, sure, he'll be better now, but I don't think, he just instantly makes us a championship team. I don't think he's that type of coach. So, and I don't see a coach like that out there. So because of that, I'm okay with taking a risk on a younger dude that, has more potential going forward.
The thing is, it's so hard to find an Eric Spoelstra. That's like 1 in a million type of case.
What I'm saying,
especially with the culture that they built. And then the Lakers, you only have a 2-year window because of the fan base. And
I'm not thinking about the 2-year window.
Yeah. That's what it is, though.
I'm not thinking
not
about.
For
I
you,
don't
but
care
for
about
them.
the 2-year window.
But listen to what he said.
That's how they move.
Listen to what he said. Who he's talking about? He's talking about Redick, right? Somebody who's not a coach or who has no credentials as a coach, right? That at first I was like, he has a very strong personality, and I don't know if it would like work. But he had a good point in terms of he's a coach that has no previous background, and sometimes that's good when you're trying to find your own identity, right? We might have a new identity in 2 years, like you said. When you have somebody who
LeBron's not going to be there. So
like other coaches try and influence their own style of play that they've already had that worked for them in the previous years, right? This guy doesn't. So him coming in could be super flexible for what we are trying to do, whether it works out with LeBron or it doesn't.
Could be an utter failure too, though. Like really bad.
It could
be
like
credentials.
I feel like with LeBron there, it's like you have a safe floor.
That is
1
true.
year.
That is true. Yeah,
you need somebody who's optimistic.
You guys are
it's
lose.
okay for 1 year. We're
thinking
about 1 year period, if anything.
You're not gonna tell me JJ's not gonna listen. Like if Ron has a suggestion, like I feel like eventually Ham was like intentionally being like, "No, I'm the coach." You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm doing. I'm the coach.
For sure.
Like I don't think JJ's
That
gonna do
challenge
that to
call,
LeBron.
the one where he's like jumping up
Oh,
and
yeah,
down. It's
challenge.
like,
It
good
always
vigorousness.
It always happens.
Yeah, like
Every coach always has that.
Because I think that's a good point.
LeBron played against
Yeah,
her.
I think that's a good point because I think that
Reddick.
JJ,
yeah.
especially JJ, will be flexible to
Mid
LeBron's
podcast
input. But I think that LeBron respects JJ enough in his game. Like
hand
he
me the
obviously
mic.
respects his mind enough to have that.
Don't put the
podcast
mic near
with him,
me.
You know.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So,
just
I-
based on this podcast, you know, him and LeBron already know how to talk hoops. So it's
Yeah.
like it's going to be a lot less frictionless. Yeah, that's great. Actually, giving the mic. It's going to be a lot less frictionless for them to get along. And like I said, like I'm not saying Eric Spoelstra necessarily. He's a 1 in a million coach. Like he's the best coach in the league. But even dudes like Mark Daigneault, right? You look at Jamal Mosley for the Orlando Magic. They don't have this. They don't have a question about their head coach because he built it all himself. And right now, it's get a coach that can work with LeBron. And I think the Lakers should look at it from a different perspective: is get a coach that can make these players work. If you kind of get what I'm saying. I think as much as I love LeBron and like the win now shit is cool, I think we have to start looking at different direction because the shit we've been doing the past years, get a coach that can do this, fix this personality, like LeBron, do this. It's not been working. We've been firing 4 coaches in the past like 7 years
That's
or something
why,
like
it's the
that.
Lakers, though. That's like the thing about those guys that you mentioned. The markets are like lower, and they've just
Miami's not a small market though.
Eric Spoelstra's been there for years, and they have like their culture set up. And what's his name? Pat Riley's always going to have that culture the way it is. Like OKC, small market. Orlando, building up, small market. You guys have a 2-year window. Even with like the Lonzo years. You
Just gotta turn the mic off.
Oh. Even with the Lonzo years, like how long did the Lonzo coach last? How long did the D'Lo coach last before they got? How long did he last?
He was just bad.
Yeah. Okay, and then Byron Scott, I think, was coaching a bad team too, right?
Yeah.
He lasted like 1 to 2 years. You have a window until you're bad. Like, I could see if you guys are building
But I
like
think that's-
Orlando did, or if you're like Houston with what's his name, the worst coach ever, Silas. Yeah, like if you could clearly tell and get him fired or not. But I think you got to hit within this window because you only have LeBron for one
Let
more
me
year.
rebuttal that. I agree with you with the whole point of like the whole expectation you can only suck for so long. But I think that's not because of the coach itself or the Lakers itself, is because of the ownership puts the pressure on.
Yeah,
because Jeannie Buss basically tells him like you got to get this shit right. Or Rob Pelinka's like you got to get this shit right. Like
That's bad.
I think
Setting
if
those expectations.
that's what I'm saying. I think if the ownership. Now, that's a different story. I don't know how that's going to go about. But if the ownership wasn't putting that pressure on the coach, like you have to figure this out this year, like I'm saying, build for the future, then the coach probably feels more free. He doesn't feel like he has to, tailor to certain players or do certain things that are being pressured and can kind of establish his own culture and system for the future. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying they're going to do this. I'm just saying this is what I think they should do. Because, again, I think as much as I love LeBron, like the reality is we have to start preparing for life without him. And I think we're already thinking about that based off the rumors that we're like trying to go after a third star. You know what I mean? And I guess we can kind of transition, or if you want to touch on the coach a little more, pause, about the roster as who we should add in the offseason. But
Did you say who you wanted, Gabe? And
yeah,
Omari?
coach, if you want to chime in on the coach speak at all.
I don't really actually know. I don't have like an idea or opinion to give because, I mean, Bez gave a lot of good points about the Reddick issue, about the Reddick situation, and him coming in early.
You don't have like do you want like a more win now coach like a Mike Budenholzer, or would you be okay with like an experimental, never coached before coach?
I honestly,
Like, what
from my
direction are you
opinion,
leaning?
for the Lakers, I want something that's gonna be like a continuous longevity, like getting like a continuous identity going. So whether that may be JJ Redick for 5 years, 4 years, like I like the sound of us having a coach that's gonna help us in the long run than the short run, in my opinion. I think, yeah, as you said, LeBron's timeline is an issue, and we need to figure out because there's going to be a life without LeBron, and we got to figure that out. I think now is like the time you have to figure that out. So I think I want someone. I don't know who it would be. Like JJ's the only name I'm thinking of right now. I don't know why.
It'll open up as the
I
time
heard
goes on.
Tyronn Lue say he wants to stay with Thing forever. Cool with the
Yeah,
Clippers. That was my other
There's
option.
definitely some assistants that we just don't know.
Yeah.
That could be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Someone said the Nuggets assistants.
I mean, yeah, they got a great.
I'll take it. I'll take any of those Nuggets. I saw a comment. They were like, no matter how much we hate Nuggets and Mike Malone, damn well Mike Malone was
I actually know one person.
They run a good staff there.
I don't know if he's going to be a coach next season, but Chris Quinn from the Miami Heat, he's been for a couple seasons
assistant
now
coach
as an assistant coach. So maybe I don't know if this season or next. A lot of teams are looking for coaches. The Hornets, I heard, are still interested in Redick too. So we'll see.
What's the reason with Phil Handy and everyone getting fired though?
I like that. Okay, let me.
He'll come back. He'll come back.
Firing Phil Handy.
You do like Phil Handy gone?
I like everybody gone because it never made sense to me to fire. Like when we fired Vogel, but we didn't fire his assistants. Like,
kept everyone else.
That doesn't make sense. I feel like the next
Lakers,
head coach, and I do like this because going on my point about continuity, you should let the next coach build their own coaching staff, build their own stuff. Like instead of you have to have this guy, like you have to have Jason Kidd on the coaching staff, you have to have Phil Handy, you have to have this.
He'll be back though. I mean, he's LeBron's guy.
Now that you said that, Bez, I agree. I got like that.
He'll get
he is just a player developmental.
Yeah.
Like,
So
you know what I mean?
Why do our players not? Why do our players not develop?
I just think it's about like the next coach they hire will have to just approve of him.
Rehire him. Yeah.
It's just
Just
it
give him
makes
that,
more
like-
sense
That's
for
what
the
I think
new
will
coach
happen.
to get his own staff. I mean, if he's cool with them, I'm sure it'll be like, hey, you should pick him back up type shit. But
Watch JJ Redick like the Lakers lose a game and then him and LeBron do a podcast the next day talking about it.
I would like that.
Austin did that stupid shit
I
last
would
week.
like that. I like that.
Fuck.
Reveal all
That's
the
good
secrets.
content. That's good content.
It is, but he's obviously gonna have to give it up if he wants to be a head coach. In the NBA.
And a reason I'm feeling the JJ Redick stuff a little more is because from what I've seen on his podcast is already more than I've seen Darvin Ham drop on a clipboard. So it's like
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but-
dude. Like so many clips of fucking Ham being like an idiot. He's like,
bro, what did
you
he say?
gonna draw
Yeah,
something? He's just drawing shit. And he like.
But to be fair, I feel like some other guys.
Oh my God,
The clip was like a minute long. Like that's an entire time out, and you didn't like. It finished with people walking off.
They were reposting clips of like Darvin Ham's season today, and one of
Saw
them
that.
was in the huddle, and he was like, "Go hard at the dudes."
Yeah.
Bro, what?
You guys are doing good enough there. Just keep pounding.
He's motivating.
But to be fair, I feel like there's a bunch of X's and O's guys that's been working like 20 years to get their time, their experience to play. Like I guarantee Steven Silas can probably do the same thing JJ Redick does on a podcast, but like leading men is a different aspect of doing things, you know. Darvin Ham, at least he was like he can give some good quotes here and there. He just didn't know what he was doing.
Inspirational.
He's just wasting fucking marker ink.
Yeah,
Like
he talked his way into getting the job for the Lakers. He's a good interview, that's for sure.
The learning curve with
players
JJ
loved
is
him.
going to be like how to command a player's respect.
Yeah, because like what Isaac said, I don't know if his personality would mesh as being like a leader of men. So
he's gonna have to learn it. It's not gonna. That's why I said it's gonna be bumps and bruises because I'm sure there's gonna be like, oh, should I say something? Or it's like, oh, it's LeBron. I don't want to step my toes.
I hate
It's
that
a learning
shit.
curve.
Because especially like he played against this dude. Like
It's tough as a
politics.
first time head coach. I get it though. I sympathize because it's like you have to learn when to step step in, and it's like you never experienced it before, especially for somebody who's never coached at any level, let alone
LeBron,
NBA.
bro. I'm gonna say, let alone like LeBron James.
Right.
Like, you're not coaching the Pistons. You're coaching
honestly,
LeBron and AD.
Yeah, like if you have the Pistons, you'd be like, okay, I know, like they're gonna look up to me and they're gonna follow me. But it's like you got all-time greats on your team and all-time great franchise.
Honestly.
It's a little different.
yeah,
Genie
I would
busting
have-
Ruffling on your neck.
I would have faith in JJ just off the fact that like LeBron is still in somewhat had to sign off on who was the coach. You know, at least somewhat. And I think that it would show that like obviously since they have this podcast and stuff and they're like close, relatively close. I don't know how close they are in like real life, but they obviously
Still
do
a
the whole
good
podcast
relationship.
together.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Meet once a
he
week at
obviously
least.
trusts his basketball mind.
Did he?
And it's not to say like they'll like you know what I mean like everyone will disagree at some point. You know what I mean? They're not gonna always agree. But I think that JJ, if he does get hired, it will show that like he's somebody who could disagree with LeBron and still have LeBron like consider his perspective.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that he also knows a lot about the game.
Players coach
you know?
type of thing. Yeah.
Right.
So I think that would be like a telling sign if JJ actually gets the job.
Yeah, it's a good
That,
conversation.
that they Bron trusts him. Bron sees that he can do the job or believes that he can do the job. You know.
We'll see soon. I think they'll do it in the offseason, like right away.
I'm still sad, bro.
It is what it is.
serious?
90% winning the game, bro.
Welcome to the club, guys.
How
So
fast do leads dissipate, bro?
Hold on. Let's transition into the roster. So we talked about the coach. That's
okay.
obvious. But what about obviously it's not just the coach. What do you think? What type of players do we need to bring in? What I know you heard the reports about the star players. If we do get a star, who do you want it to be?
Mitch.
I want Miami
I would say
Gabe Vincent.
If
I want Miami Gabe
anybody,
Vincent.
if anybody from who I've heard, I would say Mitch. Like I don't want Trey. I don't think that would help.
I'll
us
be
that
cool
much.
getting DeJounte if we could still make it happen.
I would
it's
be
not
cool
enough
getting
though to get over
DeJounte.
the
I still
hump.
swear
I want
we should have
Trey
just got DeJounte, like I was saying the whole time. We should have been at him.
But imagine if we
would've
got,
done a lot
we
better,
would have, we would have had somebody to put on Jamal Murray. If
You
we
still
had
would have lost
DeJounte.
though. Let's be serious.
I agree with you, but it's like at least I'm like, hey, we got someone.
Healthy
that can defend
Vando.
him, pick
Why
up
don't you throw
48
healthy
feet.
Vando? But he's not
and
healthy.
he's also not scoring 0 points. So
That is true.
not one.
He
I
gonna keep
guarantee
shooting
you.
them bitches.
Yeah,
we know
he
that.
gonna keep going.
If you
Like,
wanna-
he gonna get some, and he's a multifaceted. He's aggressive. Like
Yeah.
he's a multifaceted.
Is
scorer,
this
too.
for
It's
like
not just,
legit
like-
next year or like life after Braun years?
Well,
That's
like,
what
both.
I'm
Or
at.
leading
is
into
D'Lo
both.
still on the roster too?
Because whoever we acquire is gonna
No.
stay after Braun.
I want
So
Donovan
D'Lo's
Trey.
then.
D'Lo's
If D'Lo's on the roster, what do you trade?
He's gone. He's not on the
Yeah, that's
roster.
why I said
Sign
like.
and trade
But you'd have to trade AR too, I guess.
or Rui. Yeah,
Or weird.
With maybe
I like both of those
I
guys.
say
bro.
keep AR and get rid of Rui and the
Yeah, so
picks.
sign and trade's the only way. That
I
you
like
can do
both.
it.
I don't want to get rid of
AR is the only
either.
one out. I mean,
Yeah.
because Rui's good, but he's not like I'm a Rui believer. I'm a Rui fan, but
Yeah.
like
He's
he's not
replaceable.
someone you can't replace. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
At the end of the day, like he's
a
not
good role
giving
player,
us
but
fucking
yeah.
25. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
right.
he's
His
giving
skill
us
set
15
can be found
and then,
somewhere else.
No,
and
it can't.
if you drop off in the playoffs, it's a big hit on your resume. That because he dropped off hard. Too.
No,
It
for
wasn't
real,
even
that's
just
the
like
only
a-
reason you get paid
Did they
in the
expect
NBA.
him
Yeah,
for
to
so much?
show
Did
up
they
in the
expect so
playoffs.
much from him though?
You average
What were they
15.
expecting from
You
him?
average
Role
15. Yeah, you
perfectly.
average 15 in the regular season.
I think he was
He
set
has,
to
he has
fail.
to be a better defender. There's no
That
question
too,
about
but you average 15 in the regular season. You don't go average 3 in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like
I think he was expected to do a lot more than he was capable of at this series.
It was a bad matchup to begin with.
It was a
but
bad
Defensively,
matchup.
I
We were
agree.
getting outcoached.
Yeah.
Okay, some of the times.
Darvin Ham putting him on Jokic is just like I'm not even gonna blame him for that. Like you're just setting him up to fail.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're putting him in positions. I know, like he played bad. On offense,
that's
yes.
why I'm not chipping off
defense,
his
yes.
defense really.
I'm not
'Cause
really-
He didn't have a choice. Like
Yeah.
Like I know he played shit, but like I think he was in like a bad position, and off rip, it was already like this is the starting line. He was already like here. He couldn't He had to fight. Like he had to try. I don't know. I think he was in like
no,
too much of a
offensively-
deficit.
Offensively, he had no. There's no excuse offensively in my.
This series, yeah.
He missed.
Yeah, you're
bunny,
right.
He was missing bunnies. He had.
You're
He
right.
had looks. He had open shots. He was missing. He was
Yeah,
just bricking.
he
Like
can
at the
go.
end of the day, he. Like anyone could do that.
I said one more.
Yeah,
I
can
say
go out and
not.
do that, you know
I
what
said
mean?
don't panic yet on
The
him.
number one thing the Lakers need is a point of attack defender. That's why I'm hoping we get
Yeah.
Caruso back or like Vanderbilt. I guess was that for us, but I'm hoping it's somebody with a little more respectable offensive
So
game.
you-
Yeah,
you
at least
keep the
hit
core
the
and-
open threes.
That's why
like,
Caruso's great. He can hit corner threes. He
Yeah.
can cut to the basket.
So you think keeping the core and getting role players
Yeah.
is the way to go?
I think we just have to. Well, number one, I think the coach is the most. I don't think we should even think about anything until we find the coach and the coach makes it clear what like the identity of the
Yeah.
team is.
Yeah.
And then we get role players to fit that identity because I think
Because you guys are a good first half team, and then second half is coaching and everything. That
yeah,
makes it
dude.
fall
Like
down.
third quarter it was killer every game.
Yeah, and that's a
You
coaching
literally
problem.
got shit on every third quarter. Like
You don't motivate your guys
And
to
fourth
play
quarter,
or
don't
put in the
close
right
out.
place.
yeah, like what the
people
fuck
to
are you
play.
saying at halftime that they come out so upset like in ass? Like you didn't motivate them at all. Like you made it worse.
Rotations too,
Like, how'd
yeah.
you make it worse?
Dudes, that's a hell of a ball club.
Yeah. Like how you go to halftime and then you get worse. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
They outplayed us, man. They outplayed us, man.
I mean,
Them dudes over there.
But roster wise,
Jackson
yeah,
quotes.
they need role players and they need a 5.
Mama, there goes that
That
man.
man.
I think that's the only thing that's
Person
gonna save
hit it
them.
out the park.
it's like the number one thing I would say is like just fuck the quality of the role players. You need an identity, whether it's offensively or defensively. Like I cannot tell you what the identity of a Darvin Ham led team was. It's just like
LeBron,
good
AD,
luck,
Cook,
brother.
yeah.
Salute. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
like-
I think
Honestly.
on that
LeBron, please.
on that
Like,
topic
that's it.
real quick,
Like
like
defensively, it was like AD please.
Yeah, AD.
on
yeah,
that topic
one end
real
is
quick,
LeBron,
bro, Vando was gone for a long time, right? So Vando not being part of the lineup for a long time hurt the identity of the team because
But there is no identity.
He
No,
said
no, no,
Darvin
no.
Ham
No,
offense
no.
throughout his 2-year span with no identity.
The first year we made to the Western Conference Finals, Vando had a healthy year. We knew we were doing, and we were winning. Remember after the trade deadline, the first
It
year.
was a bit
Yeah.
bad.
That
It
was
a
the
bit
Do you
bad.
remember the
situational.
No,
after
but-
trade deadline first year? We got D'Lo. Everything was cooking. We had a lineup. We were like 30 and like 8 or some shit,
But
right?
that's, you guys are running off a momentum of the Westbrook thing was terrible. You get rid of him. You get players that are actually
Nah,
Winning
it's
basketball
just-
games
actually
with a
put
certain
together,
team.
and you guys were the hottest team
I
in the
promise
NBA.
you,
Is this
just like-
situational though? Is this situational?
is.
Like where
That lineup
if we
of-
meet Nuggets in the Western, like if we don't meet the Nuggets in the first round, we probably beat the Thunder. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it also.
No,
No, I'm,
Maybe,
I'm still
like-
talking about last year. The last year after the trade deadline, we had an identity. We found what we were, and we were using it
Okay.
against the regular season. We beat the Grizzlies. We beat
But what was
the
the
Warriors.
identity? Can you like explain like
What
what's
I-
the offense? Is it like 3
Skill.
pointers? Is it like getting to the rim?
And with the identity I saw was, LeBron and Davis still do their 2-man game a lot as much as they could, but
are.
Vando, we'd have like a defense oriented thing where Vando and Davis Davis would kind of like not necessarily corral, but like they would help each other a lot. So when Vando was on the best player and they would like do a screen to get him off, Davis wouldn't have to hedge because Vando's length and he can drop back a little bit. We could play that. Also, with that being said, Rui and Reeves were playing very good offensive basketball at that time from the regular season to legit the Nuggets Western Conference Finals.
Right. Yeah.
And D'Lo was playing good except for the playoffs, yeah. But at that point, we were like a team that knew what they were doing. Then for some reason, it like shifted. Vando got hurt before the season, and a lot of games without Vando, like it was weird because they were like, we don't have our primary defender being that guy anymore.
I see what you're coming from, but I think it was just like all skill based wins because you guys change your identity, like having new players and new faces, like a fresh locker room. And the thing that went down with Westbrook was like bad, so getting new people there. And just having a different like sense of identity helped you guys win more games.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I kind of agree with Hassan. It's like having a relationship that's so bad, like your girlfriend beats you, and then you get into like a decent one, and you're like, oh, this is so much better. Yeah. And then when the high wears down, you're like, it's not that great. And I feel like just because the new team fits so much better than the old one, not even that it fit amazing, just it fits so much better than the Westbrook shit that it's like, oh, we can start to see things clicking, and we just feed off of that. But it's like once teams start to figure us out and have a whole year of tape on us, it's like, okay, now we can exploit their weaknesses and it's not going to be as effective. It's like they were just playing off, we didn't know what they were doing. They were figuring it out. They had momentum just because of the situation was better and everyone was like bought into figuring it out. But this year, it's like going into the playoffs, it's like we kind of already knew that we didn't have the sauce, I guess. Like the team was the team. Yeah. It's not like last year.
And that's where coaching matters, to figure it out.
But dude, that's one of our key things was not playing like I think I'm not saying this right now.
Sounds like you're saying Vando would have made it different.
I'm not saying Vando would have won the series, but I'm saying like without Vando,
sound like you're saying it.
I want to issue that. But like
they got swept with them, man.
We win the series if these niggas could put up some offensive production consistently.
Nah, defense is bad.
At the end of the day, I know, but at the end of the day,
I think there's nothing that would have made us win the series.
Nah, what do you? I mean,
if we had Kevin Durant, would have won.
A different coach, straight up.
If we had Kevin Durant instead of Rui Hachimura, we would have won.
If people hit their like at the end of the day, if the role players hit their averages, we win.
That's not the playoffs though.
But either a guy's a riser or a dropper.
But and we have like Rui dropped like 12 points. D'Lo, I can't even tell you what the fuck this nigga did.
Lights are too bright, brother.
It's just like they just fell off at the end of the day. Like if they would have put up off, we lost these games by a couple points. You know what I mean? Like you first off, we win that game too. It's probably a whole different series momentum wise. You know, people probably have more confidence.
No, game 2 for sure would have changed everything.
Yeah, like
1-1 going back to LA would have been insane.
The difference. You know what I mean? Like you win with the matter of this. You know what I mean? Most of these games, it's just like these people put up 5 more points a game, and that's like still half their average. And you probably win at least a couple more games.
I'll kind of meet you halfway.
You know what I mean?
You're looking just at numbers though. You got to take into consideration.
It's almost that simple because Rui was just missing open shots. They were getting him shots.
Context.
Missing open. But how is that context? Your job is to make open shots. You did it during the regular season.
Okay, that's 15. His job. You can't do it though.
But you average 15. D'Lo, I mean,
once it,
he's a tough shot maker. But it's just like if you make the tough shots. Yeah, if you make the tough, but if you make the tough shots in the regular season, go do it in the play. Like it doesn't matter if you can't do it in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like we have a few more decent games from these people. We win some games and things change. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe we don't win. But it's not a 5-1 gentleman sweep. I don't
know if y'all saw the Jimmy Harold video on Jamal Murray.
The newest one?
I
haven't seen it yet.
He was talking about like the biggest playoff risers, and Jamal Murray basically jumps up like 12 points.
Season.
And he was saying like it's just the most interesting thing because like they don't need Jokic is so good at making his teammates better that in the regular season it doesn't matter what Jamal Murray does because Jokic can kind of just deal with whoever. And it's like, but when it comes to the playoffs, it's so important because the 2-man game and how they feed off each other and like
chemistry.
And yeah.